punishing my daughter after she lashed out on her stepdad? I, 32F, have been married to my husband Mike, 34M, for 5 years. Mike's first wife passed away in December 2012, when their son TJ was only 5. Meanwhile, I've been divorced since 2013, but my daughter Dana is still close with her bio dad Jack until now. I met Mike in 2016. After we married, we had a near-perfect family, and TJ was even comfortable enough to call me mom. However, on April this year, TJ was hit by a drunk driver and was killed instantly. Our family was devastated. Understandably, Mike was inconsolable. I was the one who made the arrangements for TJ's service and made sure the drunk driver was jailed. In his grief, Mike didn't come out of the house for months. He's now seeing a therapist to help him process everything. Then, last month, Dana told me that Jack invited her to spend the holidays with him. I said no. Christmas has always been tough for Mike because of his wife's passing. Dana knows this, and now, he also lost TJ. I told Dana that we're the only family Mike has left, so we'll be celebrating Christmas at our home. She was disappointed but seemed to understand. However, yesterday, she pressed again. This time, over dinner with Mike. Dana said that Jack rented a vacation house where they could go skiing and do other fun stuff. However, I still said no, and I explained to her again why. After an hour of arguing, Dana started raising her voice. Mike intervened and said maybe I should just let Dana go. I still said no. I know Mike was just being modest and that he'd be heartbroken if Dana leaves. I know I will be. I then said something like, "Come on Dana, this is the first time we're celebrating Christmas with just the 3 of us. How about we make those cookies TJ really liked?" Then, to my shock, Dana replied with, "He's not even my real brother. And Mike's not even my real family. I want to spend time with my real dad." Then stomped her way to her room. This was the first time Dana acted like this. Mike had been nothing but kind, caring, and supportive to her. She has also told me that she feels good and safe with Mike. We even baked a cake during TJ's birthday, and Dana made a beautiful slideshow to honor him. Mike then told her how much she means to him as his daughter. I looked at Mike, who was on the verge of tears, but he just told me to let it go since it's Christmas time, and maybe Dana was just being a teenager, she's 15, and to just let her spend time with Jack. I then went to Dana's room and told her that she can spend Christmas with Jack if she apologizes to Mike. She refused, saying she didn't say anything that wasn't true. That's when I started to get mad. I told her that she's staying home for Christmas and that I'm taking all her devices during the break. I also said she won't be joining her friends' sleepover after New Year. Jack then called and said I'm overreacting and that I'm an R for ruining Dana's break. However, I don't see how disciplining my child makes me an R. Comment 1. YTA, you decided she can't spend time with her own father because you decided another man needs her as an emotional crutch. You put your daughter's needs last. Then when she lashed out, rightfully so, you pulled the authority card and punished her. Your behavior in this instance is actually immature. It's akin to having to have the last word. Where is the conversation? Where is compromise? Where is even asking your own child how she feels? Have you even helped her process TJ's death? She could have been so upset by it, and now she's just telling herself that there's no reason to be that upset because he wasn't even really her brother. It's a coping mechanism. I'm not saying that's how she feels or what is going on, but you clearly haven't even bothered to ask. You've made it crystal clear that she is not your priority. Comment 2. YTA. You are making this about your husband and his feelings. Yes, he's had a horrible run as a father and husband, no doubt. However, your daughter isn't some emotional support animal to be there for his sadness. That's incredibly selfish of you to make her do it. How about you be there for your husband, and let her go enjoy Christmas without sadness and spending time with her dad? Comment 3. In your efforts to console your husband, you are pushing your daughter away. You will regret ruining her time with her father after she's 18 and leaves and probably goes LC. YTA. Refusing to give up me extra seat for someone else's toddler on a flight that I paid for because I'm fat? I 34F am obese. I'm actively working toward losing weight and I've made progress, but I'm still obese as I'm typing this. I'm going over to see my brother and his husband for Christmas across the country, and because I'm fat, I booked an extra seat so everyone can be more comfortable. I know it sucks having to pay for an extra seat, but it is what it is. I know Southwest Airlines has this customer of size policy, but I've had some bad experiences with Southwest even before I was obese, so I wasn't doing that, and it's mostly my fault I even got fat. Everything goes smoothly from checking into security and boarding, at least at first. This woman comes to my row with a boy who appeared to be about a year old. She told me to squeeze into one seat so her son could sit in the other. She told me, not asked. I told her no and that I paid for this seat for the extra space. She makes a big fuss over it, which got the flight attendant's attention. She told the flight attendant I was stealing the seat from her son, then I showed my boarding passes, proving that I, in fact, paid for the extra seat. The flight attendant asked me if I could try to squeeze in, but I said no, that I wanted the extra seat I paid for. The boy, who the mom said is 18 months old, was supposed to sit in her lap so he could do just that. The flight attendant eventually told the mom to put her son in her lap. I got dirty looks and passive-aggressive remarks from her for the entire flight, and I do feel a little bad because the boy looked hard to control. Edit: I did not fly SWA, comment 1. She's TA for not buying a seat for her son and assuming someone else would give up a seat they paid for. Odds are she was hoping there'd be extra seats on the flight so she didn't have to pay, and used the lap thing as a loophole. Classic case of you snooze you lose. Comment 2. NTA. You paid for that seat, it's yours. An email to SWA asking them to remind their FAs to enforce the seat policy would be warranted. 2. You asked the FA for help and she told you to squeeze into one seat for the unticketed child. You might even get some miles or goodies for it. Comment 3. NTA. Some people are so entitled you paid for the seats, you should not have to give one of them up. The cabin crew should have stopped this straight away once they saw you had booked both seats. It should have been obvious why. They should not have asked you to squeeze into one seat. The mother was an R and so was the member of cabin crew. Buying baby-related gifts to gift my pregnant girlfriend for Christmas? So my 25M partner, 24F, is 7 months pregnant, with our baby boy due in March next year. Now I'm admittedly bad at thinking of what gifts to get people, so I always take a note of when they say they want something so that I have a list. In the past several months though, almost everything that she's mentioned has been related to the baby. I'm not talking the essentials, but really high-end, expensive designer strollers, furniture, diaper bags etc. that can cost up to a few $1,000s each that aren't really necessary. She's been absolutely fixated on some of these things, mentioning multiple times how much she wanted them, and was even toying with the idea of saving up to buy them herself. I'm not sure if she did decide to or not. Now I got a really healthy bonus at work recently, so decided to splurge on a few of the things she mentioned as a Christmas gift to her. I made sure to remove anything related off her registry and off our list of things we still needed to buy, so that no one else would buy it. I thought I did it discreetly, but she somehow noticed and quizzed me about it. I didn't feel like there was any point hiding it, so I told her I had bought those things as a Christmas gift to her. I thought she'd be grateful, but she was irritated instead, and went on a bit of rant about how it was unfair to count things for the baby as a Christmas gift to her, because it was something we'd both use, and no one ever gifts the father baby stuff. And that it was inconsiderate of me to see her as only a mother now and not a person herself. Now I get her point, but the way I see it is that the items themselves aren't necessarily the gift, but more so the act of me buying them for her, given they are luxuries that she specifically wanted and were not necessities at all, for example paying $2,000 for a pram versus $200. Also, it wasn't the only gifts I bought her. I got her about a dozen smaller, cheaper things that were on my list, as well as a more expensive tennis bracelet plus earring set that she had been eyeing, though I didn't mention that to her. Comment 1. I'd have worded that you used your bonus to surprise her and given them at the shower versus using them as Christmas. Especially since you bought the jewelry set she was wanting as her Christmas gift. Same outcome, different intention. Comment 2. YTA. Yay, baby gifts aren't a gift for her, she's right. But I'd actually say YTA because instead of listening to what she's saying, you're here trying to justify it. She's telling you she doesn't want to just be a mother, she wants to be a person too. Pregnancy can be really rough on women in terms of identity. Acknowledge her point and reassure her that you have got her a present for her. Comment 3. YTA. She's absolutely right, these are things for the baby, not her. You will both use them to care for your child. By making them gifts for her, you've effectively assigned the baby to her. It's hers, her responsibility, and here's the stuff to go with it. Not cool. If you want to buy things in preparation for the baby, do so. That's great. Don't wrap them and put them under the tree for your partner. Banning my teenage nephew from my house and keeping my family away from him on Christmas. On Thanksgiving my daughter lost her AirPods. We did the Find My AirPods and they was at my sister's house in my nephew's Adam, 13, bedroom. He claims it was a mistake and he thought they was his. But when we got them back the AirPods were still in the pink donut carrying clip that my daughter uses. Adam has had a lot of mistakes over the years, from taking gaming controllers, AirPods, toys that he randomly finds. This has been an ongoing issue and I think at 13 it's time for Adam to stop having these mistakes. I told my sister Adam isn't welcomed at my home for Christmas because he has had mistakes there and has steal other people's things. I don't think I'm being mean, but I'm sick of the little thief who has no consequences and I don't want him in my home anymore. Because of this my mom is now hosting Christmas because I don't want to. I made it clear to my family why. I think it's past the time we address Adam's issue. My mother and sister think I'm going about this the wrong way and I'm being way too mean on Adam over a little mistake, but I'm honestly just sick of being around him. I had to tell my kids not to take any expensive or new gifts they like to grandma's. I have also told them no sharing with Adam and any gifts we unwrap at grandma's goes straight to the car and locked in. The situation pisses me off because I now feel like I have to punish my kids for Adam's behavior and they can't play with their own things on Christmas and be vigilant because their cousin steals and no one but me seems to give two shits about how wrong that is. Comment 1. NTA. I had a thief niece, she would steal anything not attached. It made family gatherings uncomfortable. Sadly, we found out too late she had a serious drug problem, and she did die by suicide. She stole everything so she could fund the bad habit she created. She left behind 2 teenage daughters, who are now being raised by her ex-girlfriend and her new wife. Geez, it sounds like daytime television. Don't let this kiddo learn that if he says it was an accident, that he gets away with it. He will end up in a lot of trouble one day because of his sticky fingers. Comment 2. NTA for not wanting a thief in your house. And those are no longer mistakes. Stop minimizing what is going on. Confront your sister about the continued thefts. Refusing to attend my in-laws' Christmas unless sister-in-law removes the stocking that has a different name than the one I chose for my unborn son? To preface, I have been with my husband Todd for 3 years. He has a son, 9, from his late wife. Todd is pretty close to his sister Monica. Their mom's deceased and Monica has basically taken over. She's nice to me and all, but she seems to be a bit controlling, especially when it comes to Todd. But that wasn't a real issue until after I got pregnant. After we found the gender of the baby, boy, she insisted on the name Tommy, but I refused because I already had a name in mind and Todd loves it, but he chose to stay out of the fight, saying maybe we should just let Monica call him Tommy. I refused and asked her to please respect me and the fact that I'm the mom, not her, and she said okay. Like always, She's hosting Christmas for the family this year and invited me and Todd to Christmas dinner. I was intending on coming, that is, until I'd discovered that she hung stockings with her kids, nephews, nieces' names and hung a Tommy stocking saying that it's for my son. I was livid. I lost it on her and there was a huge fight. I told her I won't be coming to her Christmas dinner if she doesn't remove the stocking or put the real name, and then I left. Todd started yelling at me when we got home, saying that I was attempting to ruin an important family tradition by refusing to come, and said that I was overreacting and cannot be telling his sister what she should or shouldn't do in her own home. He tried to convince me to come, but I said no. Not until she removes that stocking, and it doesn't look like she's going to do it, cause he spoke with her and he's now mad at me for making a huge deal out of it. Her husband Philip, who's usually nice to me, called yesterday saying that he spoke with Todd and he'd be devastated if I cause the family to miss the event at Monica's house and ruin it not only for the adults but for the kids as well, since my stepson loves spending the holidays with his cousins. Todd has been quiet and the only way we communicate is through Philip. I feel ashamed. Maybe I overreacted. Edit: to answer someone's question, no, I did not ask Monica to put a stocking for my son. She said it was for my son. It was her decision, although I find it weird since the baby isn't even born yet. Comment 1. NTA: tell your husband that unless he wants to have children with his sister, he needs to get priorities in order. His sister has no naming rights to your child. Ever. And it is profoundly disturbing that they both seem to think so. You're in for a world of pain with these incestuously enmeshed siblings. In your shoes, the moment Todd agreed that his sister should name your child, he'd have been out of my house. Comment 2. Maybe it's time to start calling Todd Mikey and your Sil Jenny or something else that's not her name. When she and your husband complain about it, simply state what? I don't see the issue. Unborn son's name will be Matthew, but you insist and persist in saying Tommy. I just thought we all got to choose what we called each other. Shrug. NTA. But you have a huge husband problem. He needs to have your back and tell his sister to back off. Not inviting my boyfriend to come on a trip that is significant to my family history and going with my friend who shared that history? My friend Alec and I have known each other forever because our grandfathers were friends. They became friends as a result of the Holocaust. They grew up in the same area, and my great-aunt saved Alec's grandfather's life. They survived and emigrated to the same country where they remained friends their whole lives. Our families are very connected. Last month, on the anniversary of my grandfather's death, Alec and I began discussing taking a trip to my grandfather's birth country and other places associated with their lives. We decided to take the trip for 3 weeks early next year. My boyfriend Ezra is mad that I didn't invite him. I told him this was a trip about my and Alec's family history, and something we wanted to do together to connect with our heritage. It's not a resort vacation. He said he is hurt that I don't want to share this with him. I keep telling him this isn't chicken nuggets and I don't want to share. This is something that just patently doesn't include him and something I just want to do with Alec, and he's being irrationally jealous. Friends I've spoken to say I absolutely have the right to go, but they don't blame him for being hurt that I want to go traveling with another guy. They say I should maybe invite him for a few days if the trip, and if I don't want him to come to specific places that's fine, but I should find a way to include him on the trip. I don't think I should have to invite him just to pander to his jealousy and FOMO. Edit: for everyone asking, we've been officially together for 3 months. We were very casually saying for 5 months before that, but I don't count that as us being together because he was dating other people. Comment 1. Of course, I recognize the connection and emotional bond you and your friend share. This isn't a beach holiday. But take a moment to consider how you would feel if your so went on a 3-week trip somewhere and didn't want you to come along. I also would be jealous, and I think if you're honest with yourself you would be also, no matter the circumstances. NTA, you aren't obligated at all, but don't dismiss his emotions as petty. Comment 2. NTA. The edit makes this pretty simple in my eyes. You have been together for 3 months. When you started planning the trip it was 2 months. No one should be expecting to go on a trip like this when you literally just started dating. Look at his jealousy and consider if you want to deal with this in the future. I hope you have a fantastic trip with your friend.